Hey everybody, it's Moog here from Mighty Car Mods, and today we've got an absolutely massive video all about the Volkswagen Mark 8 Golf R. I bought the car brand new and I've had it for about 6 months, so today I wanted to share my experience with you about how the car has been. But more than that, we're going to be talking about modifications, we're hitting the street for some street driving, we're going to go drifting, then we're going to 2 different tracks to see how it goes on track. We're going to talk about some of the issues that I've had with the car and some of the issues that the wider Mark 8 Golf R community has had. We're going to talk about my warranty problems. The car was off the road for a couple of weeks because I melted my brakes. And then I'm going to be handing the keys to a professional race car driver to get his experience and his opinion on how the car goes specifically on the track. After all of that, I'll give you my conclusion and opinion on the car. You can make up your own mind, but most importantly, what we want to answer is, should you buy one? This video is going to be absolutely massive, so strap yourself in and get ready for an epic video of Mighty Car Mods Golf action. Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods. This is my Mark 8 Golf R. Now, to give it some context, I've had a Mark 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, but this here is the first car that I've ever bought brand new. Now, when the images were first released of what the Mark 8 Golf was going to look like, I gotta be honest, I kind of went, ugh. It's kind of the front end. I never really quite got it, and even when I first reviewed this car about 6 months ago, I didn't quite get it. I've got to say, the looks are actually starting to grow on me, because this kind of style of sharp lines and squinty headlights is something that we're seeing with a whole lot of different brands now. And I think I'm kind of very much used to cars from the 90s and the early 2000s, which is the era that I love, Japanese cars. And this here obviously is stylistically quite different. Now, the reason that I decided to make this video is because while these cars have been out for a couple of years overseas, in Australia they haven't been out for very long. And have a guess how many of these I've seen in the wild on Australian streets? 0. Absolutely 0. Now, we did see a couple of journalists who would go out and they'd go, I'm going to do drift mode, or I'm going to drive around the block to tell everybody what I think about it. That is a very different experience to when somebody actually owns the car themselves. When the car was first released, I got my hands on the very first press car, and I did take it to the track to drive it for Volkswagen. But this car here, I bought it from a dealer with my own money. This video is not sponsored, so I can tell you completely openly and honestly what my experiences have been with the car, both good and bad. So we are going to hit the street for a quick drive, but before we do that, just so we're all on the same page, I want to show you what mods have been done to the car so far. This was my first ever brand new car purchase, and the moment that I left the dealership, I immediately took the Golf back to our shed so I could wreck it. Wreck It consists of initial baseline mods such as wheels, rubber, exhaust, suspension, body kit, intake and a tune. The first thing to go was the tyres, which I replaced with a set of Michelin Pilot Sport 5s, and I installed these on a set of Revo RFO wheels. And wheels really are the #1 way of changing the look and the style of your car. Other than the design, offset and size, the wheels also need to be able to accommodate big brakes. While bigger brakes was a modification for a Mark 7 Golf, now big brakes come as standard. Next up was a resonated Miltech exhaust. I retained the factory flaps and, best of all, got rid of the chrome oval-shaped factory muffler tips. Sounds better and looks better. Next up was a mild drop of around 25mm, and then it was time for tints. Tinting your car can make a huge difference to the way that it looks, and being in Australia, it also has a functional element to try and keep out the heat in summer. Continuing with the blue and black theme, I replaced the chrome mirror caps with genuine Volkswagen gloss black mirror caps, and then wrapped the roof in black vinyl to continue the colour of the black sunroof. Then it was time for a lip kit and a gas hood strut from eBay, because the Mark 8 Golf doesn't come with one. Luckily, it's a cheap and easy mod. From there, it was time to install an open intake. It can unlock a few kilowatts, but most importantly, provides an epic turbo induction sound. The car then went to Sydney Premium Detailing for the final step of this stage, which was a full detail, paint correction, paint protection film and ceramic coating. The car looks and sounds so much better, but how does it drive on the street and how is it on the track? Let's find out. So they are all the mods that are on the car so far. We're now going to hit the street to do the kind of driving that most people who buy this car are going to do, which is daily driving, and then we're going to hit up some drifting and the race circuit.
So one of the things that's really good about this Golf is that it is totally usable as a daily driven car. It's really comfortable, it's quiet, everything is kind of easy to access. I know some journalists made a big fuss about the haptic steering wheel, some people without actually even spending the time to get used to it, but it actually is something that you do get used to. Yes, there's a few more presses in the climate here, and it does involve you taking your eyes off the road, which I think is not a great thing, but I'm sure there'll be a change or a fix to that at some point. And the car kind of feels like it's got a bunch of different personalities. Now, you can go through the menus here, or you hit the R button, and now we're kind of in our sports mode, and then, I mean, it is seriously fast, people. It's out of control. Like, it is, you have to test drive one to actually experience how quick it is, and it's so seamless. Kind of feels a little bit like the RS3 in terms of how the power comes through. One less cylinder, of course, but I have owned an RS3, and the way the power comes in and the throw in the seat is actually quite similar. Now, a number of people that own Mark 8s, I kind of said to them, did you come from a Mark 7 or what were your previous cars? And their general attitude was that the Mark 7 was a bit too soft, particularly compared to Evos, STIs, Focus RSs, stuff like that. But the Mark 8 seems to have ticked the box for those people, and they're actually really happy now going into a Mark 8 because they feel like the bias on the track is better than it was before. It is something that definitely feels just a little bit tighter than the Mark 7 did. So yeah, driving around like this, you can just cruise all day. You can, power's there when you need it. Sounds amazing. Huge brakes, of course. If you want to know how big the boot is and what the fuel usage is, you're on the wrong channel. I have no idea, but there's lots of other reviews, so you can go and check that out. That engine, the E888, the 2-litre, it's not an engine that's known for its lovely sound, particularly when you remove the resonators and the mufflers, it doesn't sound good. But this one here, with this turbo, I actually think it sounds pretty good. What do you reckon? Have a listen. I reckon it sounds great. But enough of driving on the street. I know what you want to see, some sideways action, so I think what we need to do now is go and show you some drifting. Now, the drift mode in these cars is not a true kind of drift. Anybody that's had some seat time in a rear-wheel drive drift car, it's kind of an artificial drift. I mean, it really is drifting, but it's doing it by getting 50% of the available power and sending 100% of that power to one of the rear wheels. You have to hold the steering wheel in the direction. When you try and like steer the other way, then it just turns off. It's quite a strange feeling, but once you get the hang of it, it is capable of doing some excellent circle work.
To activate drift mode, you go into the driving mode button, then hit race, and then the drift button will appear as a pop-up. Agree to the legal disclaimer, then just turn the wheel and plant your foot. Hello, drift mode.
Yeah!
This could be seen as a bit of a novelty, an automotive party trick, but it is a surprisingly fun way of frying your tyres, even if it does feel a little bit artificial. And when would you ever use it? I'm not sure, but I think it's less about if you'd use it and more about using it if you want to. At least you have the choice. And it's the technology that makes drift mode available that also makes it possible to step the end of the Golf out on the racetrack. Speaking of which, it's time to go head-to-head with the other hot hatch of the year, the GR Yaris, to see how the Mark 8 performs against a cheaper, simpler rival from Japan.
That could be enough for this race just to be over because he got away that quickly. I think it's not much in it because I don't know if I'll be able to get past you that easily. Like actually the outright, whoa, sideways, nice. I don't think I have the outright horsepower to get past you. I'm flat now, and you are pulling away. Third gear, 5,000 RPM, full boost, 130 k's an hour, you're pulling away. That's crazy. That's pretty amazing for a Golf, dude.
If I were a motoring journalist, here's the part where I'd talk about balance, poise, predictability, pedal feel, and outright performance. But I'm not, so I'll just tell you, it's good. It's really good, and actually a whole lot of fun for a hatchback. so it's usable on the street. Drift mode gives all the tech you need for some unnecessary hooning, and the track performance is probably the pinnacle of what VW's been able to achieve on this platform. It's ridiculously fast. But it's not all good news, is it? It's probably time to dive into the murky waters that are bubbling just below the surface of this redesigned grocery-getting go-kart.
Being a new car platform, there are going to be some problems with it, and there are some problems with it, and I thought to kind of make this fair and to balance the video, I would get on the global Mark 8 platform user group, customer group, fan group, and just ask people what their problems are. I've had hundreds of replies, and I've managed to kind of distill them down to a couple of commonalities. And so if you are looking at buying one, these are some of the issues that people have had. Keep in mind, this is a global group. So some of these people are in countries where the car may have particular options or particular facilities that are actually not in your region, but this is what they are. So many people, in fact, most of the people have zero issues at all and absolutely love the car. A lot of people though have travel assist failures and parking sensor failures. So that is brakes going on or the car requiring a certain input, particularly those that are saying that when they're kind of in their cruise control and it's doing adaptive cruise control, while they're holding the steering wheel, the car says make sure you hold the steering wheel and actually needs a little nudge, otherwise it thinks that you're not actually still awake. Numerous people, including me, have had some infotainment issues. This is not about the ergonomics of the haptic buttons and those things. I've covered that in another video. To me, that's not really a big deal, but it is with the infotainment screen freezing, some Apple CarPlay issues, blacking out and rebooting, and some people actually have to turn the car off, get out, close the door, lock it, unlock it, get back in before their maps start working again. The rear view camera sometimes not working. There was a radiator mount issue, which kind of made the radiator move a bit and can rub on some hoses. That's obviously a problem. I believe that's become an official recall, and what has also been the official recall is the engine cover. The little clips, I understand, that hold that in allegedly move around a bit. That can come off and could cause some melting or potentially a fire issue. So if you do buy one, it probably won't have an engine cover on it. And a lot of people just want simple things, like when they get out of the car and get back in, they want the settings to be the same. If the car's in the comfort mode and it's quiet and the flaps and the exhaust are closed, when they get back in, because it's early in the morning, they want it to be the same way. They want the dash to be set up the same way. But the car seems to reset that, so it's always going to start in its sports mode and the dash is going to go back to its default situation. So those are kind of most of the issues that people have, or their variations of those. I haven't experienced all of those, but I have experienced a couple that are unique. The Mark 8 Golf R has a convenient entry and exit function for the driver, which basically means that when you turn the car off to get out, it slides the seat all the way back. For whatever reason, I don't understand why, it is impossible to turn that off with my particular car. That was the case with the press car, and it's also the case with this car, the one that I ended up buying. So what that means is that your rear passenger can't actually get into the car. So it's kind of funny and a little bit silly that I can't get into it, but it actually has some real world issues. For example, let's say you've got a kid and you're going down the street and you go, hey, it's time to get in the car. You open the door, the kid can't actually fit. Their legs will not fit in that space. So you've got to say, wait a second, you've got to open the driver's side door, then you've got to get in, start the car. Once you start the car, the seat will move forward. Then you get back out to put your kid in their booster seat, strap them back in, or put your mum in, or your dad, or your friend, or whatever it is that you're carrying. But then you need to be aware at the end of your trip as well that when you turn the car off, that seat is going to move back. It is currently impossible to turn that function off. There is an option in the menu, and when you try and use it, it just says this is unavailable. So that is something that I think really needs to be fixed. The biggest issue that I've had with the Golf so far is that I actually melted part of the reservoir that holds the brake fluid. Now down the bottom of that there's a little nipple, and with manual cars that is connected to the clutch. With DSG cars that is blocked off, but in my case it wasn't covered with a heat shield, so it melted. So the first thing that I knew about it was a warning on the screen saying that you're low on brake fluid, which I thought was really weird, and as I went to pour more in, it was just pouring out the back. Now that there is not an individual component, it's connected to the brake booster, the master cylinder, the whole thing, that system there, and that needed to be replaced. So to their credit, Volkswagen and Leichhardt actually got that part flown in from Germany, which took a couple of days, and they replaced it. But you should definitely check and make sure that yours is covered with all of this heat shield, because mine wasn't.
So that's the negative stuff out of the way, and now I'm heading to The Bend, an incredible world-class racetrack facility in South Australia, so that I can get an impartial opinion from a professional driver.
I'm here with Jason, who is the hot lap driver at the Bend in Adelaide. We're here in the all-new Mark 8 Volkswagen Golf R. That was a bit of a mouthful.
It's a lot of it.
And you're a driving coach as well.
Yeah, we do a bit of both. Coaching for people who want to come and drive our Mustangs and things like that, which are on Michelins as well. So we'll sit in the passenger seat, coach them through laps, tell them where to brake, when to turn, all that sort of stuff,
Yep.
what gears to be in. So it's a good fun day.
And you're about to thrash my car.
Politely thrash.
You will be one of the first people in Australia ever to drive this on a track, by the way. I was the first, and I think now it's going to be you. So, and we can even put you in the Nürburgring mode.
Oh, good. Let's do that.
All right, let's do that. All right, so yeah, that's the start there. This car's got kind of a feature that if you just want to go like, you know, smoke someone at the lights, you can just press the R.
Yep.
You hear the exhaust open up straight away. You can't press it again to turn it off though. Like once you're in that mode you're in.
That's a shame.
The Nürburgring mode is a mode that turns everything on its sport, everything,
Yep.
except for suspension, which it leaves soft, because that's meant to be its special mode. But that's it. We are good to go.
That's it. Paddle shift as well?
Paddle shift as well, yep.
Oh, even better.
This is what this car is made to do, and I've got the shit me handle right here. How many laps have you done here? Thousands?
Thousands of laps.
And you're always on Michelins?
Absolutely awesome tyre for doing hot laps and stuff on. Keep it in nice and close here.
How's the car feel?
Oh, this is awesome.
Nice and balanced?
Yeah, very well balanced, nice and smooth. Michelin's are gripping very well. You can hear there's probably still a little bit more in them,
Yep.
but they're not squealing yet. We'll stay close for here, swap directions. There they go, a little bit of a squeal, feed it up to the corner. What a car to drive. The trick is not to fight the car, let it do its thing. Be smooth accelerator, braking, steering inputs, all that stuff.
This car, these tyres, this combination of modifications just feels great.
Oh, it's just balanced, it's so well. Like, proportion, there's no even inkling of wanting to leave the circuit. Or, you know, swap ends or anything like that.
And that's what you want to go fast. You need that confidence, and that confidence comes from predictability, right?
Yep.
Mate, thank you so much.
That's all right, mate.
3 points about the car, what do you think? It's not sponsored at all. You can say whatever you want. 3 points, what do you reckon?
Super responsive. It's awesome to drive. The paddle shift, the shifting's just flawless. Like it's straight through to when you want
So
up
fast,
and down.
isn't it?
There's no lag there. Balance-wise and handling, it's like I said, it's just superb.
Yeah, awesome.
It's good and comfy.
Great.
You could drive to Melbourne tomorrow.
We got a fan. Awesome. Thanks so
Yeah,
much for
no
your
worries,
time,
mate.
man. That
Thank
was
you.
unreal.
No worries.
It was a really great opportunity to passenger with Jason, somebody who drives professionally every single day of the week, and he's used to driving fast cars, and he was really impressed with the car. Now, I know it's really good on the street, and I know it's really good on the track, but it's not all good news. There's some pros and some cons. So it's time for me to tell you everything that I think about the car, good and bad, and in conclusion, answer the question that we posed at the beginning, which is, should you buy one? Let's start with the negatives that you should be aware of. With the Mark 8 Golf R, it is a new generation. The Mark 8 has been out for a little while overseas, but it's only just come to Australia. And with any new generation or new platform, there are going to be some teething issues. And most of those teething issues appear to be around the infotainment system. Now, some of the journalists that reviewed the car, they really struggled with the haptic buttons. I don't think that's much of an issue. And most people that end up buying and owning the cars actually get adept with using that stuff really quickly, usually within a couple of days. With me, it took about a week, and yes, it does take a little bit longer than just using knobs and switches, but also that is the way that we're going. There used to be buttons on phones, now there's no buttons, it's all about iPhones, so that's one thing. The second thing is the Mark 7 Golf used to be kind of the everyday car that you could drive and completely fly under the radar. This car is no longer that. You cannot fly under the radar. I get more attention in this car than pretty much everything else I own, and that's probably also due to supply issues because, like I said, I haven't seen another one of these in Australia. So if you do want to fly under the radar and not be noticed, like the Mark 7 Golf R, which I think makes an excellent sleeper, that may not be the right car for you because you're going to get a whole lot of attention. The other thing is price and availability. Some people have obviously ordered these and then trying to sell them. During the peak, people were asking up to $100,000, which is kind of unfair really because Volkswagen's price is around $66,000, $67,000. And then there's obviously dealer markup, but that has just gone crazy and it's a very, very long wait to get them and supply issues. And of course, that pushed the price up, which in turn pushed up the price of the Mark 7s as well. So now let's look at the pros. The performance is absolutely ridiculous. With my Mark 7 Golf R, I had to do the big turbo, big fuel, big brake kit. This now has all of those things from the factory and you get 5 years warranty. So all of that performance with warranty is absolutely ridiculous. Once they release a tune for it, and lots of aftermarket companies are working on tunes, it's going to make astonishing power. Already at 0 to 100 in about 4 seconds, and the gains that can be achieved with just a tune are going to be phenomenal. So that is coming, and also I just think it makes an excellent daily drive. So in conclusion, should you buy one? In my opinion, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a race car driver, I'm not a journalist, I'm just a dude who's been making YouTube videos with my best mate for a very long time. I think it is the best hot hatch that you can buy and daily drive every single day. The softness of the Mark 7 is not there. There's way more of an orientation towards track focus and performance. There are some teething issues. I would say yes, but the biggest thing stopping is the price. Should you be paying $30,000 or $40,000 above the recommended price? I don't think so. Is it a $100,000 car? I don't think so. Are there other options for that amount of money? Yes, there is. But in my opinion, when the prices come back down again, one car that does absolutely everything, I think you're going to be very hard pressed to find something better than the Mark 8 Golf R. I hope you enjoyed that video, and of course, if you do want to support Mighty Car Mods, you can check out the Mighty Car Mods website, which is mightycarmods.com. We got loads of merch there. We ship all over the world. We got t-shirts, we got stickers, we got car stuff, we got hats, we've got...
That was an excellent video.
Oh, thank you, Martin.
Excellent video. I understand a lot of journalists get given this car for like a day and they drive it around and then have these massive opinions about what is and what isn't. They don't go to tracks, they don't, do mods, they don't do all this sort of stuff. Own them for a long period of time, which is awesome.
I'm doing the outro right now.
I know.
Okay.
But I have to stop you before you finish the video because you're wrong.
What do you mean?
You're wrong. Your opinion's your opinion.
Okay.
But there's facts, irrefutable, inarguable facts that you have wrong.
Okay. Right.
Mostly being that it is not the ultimate golf. It's not the best golf you can get. It's not the best value golf you can get. This is not the best golf. The best possible golf you could ever own.
Okay, Martin, okay, let me finish my thing, because that sounds like another video happening already, but that's not this video. So you go back to pulling the engine out of your Levorg again. Sorry for the spoiler. You just get back to the Levorg and I'll finish my bit. And then you can make another video about your stuff.
No. But
okay, so we got loads of merch on the shop, mightycarmods.com, check that out. We do ship all over the world and we do appreciate your support. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. That's fine as well. And that's it. See you next time. I'm going to go and have a chat with Marty.
We need to have a chat about your facts.
Okay, mate.
Your facts are not correct.
They are correct.
They're not.
Which part of it?
They're not right, man.
Which part?
The ultimate...
Oh, dude. Dude, don't be doing that.
It is.
Don't be doing that.
But it is.
We're not making videos of...
We are.
No, we're not.
Yes.
Oh, dude, Dude, we're not...
Dude,
I told you, we're not making videos about that. You said you're only buying that car while you work on the Levorg.
Yeah,
we're not actually making videos about it.
But I do own that car.
No, but you can't tell anyone that.
Why?
Because it's embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's
Of course
fast. Let's chop the shit out of your golf.
Oh, dude.
Dude, for half the money to a third of the money,
dude,
I'll chop the shit out of yours.
Stop.
Throw a few mods at it, job done.
You can't
Like
be Marty's Subaru guy.
I am Marty's Subaru guy.
Oh, dude.
But just your one is not as good as mine.
Oh, dude, holy shit.